Hi everyone, welcome to Anthony's Hobby Corner, and hope you're keeping safe. Today I have a service video of a slight different nature. Um, I'm going to be doing a few videos on servicing some vintage British locomotives. Mostly I've done the ones in the past that I've done have been mostly either German, Fleischmann, Roco, etc., or North American like Adern and so on, or even Limas, etc. But I figured I did purchase some of these British locomotives, these vintage ones, and I figured let's do some service videos on these as well. So this particular locomotive that I purchased actually locally was from a large model railroad collector, and obviously he was getting out of the hobby, so I was able to get a few of these pieces. So this locomotive that we have here in our hand is a Class 8 diesel locomotive that was part of British Rail. And these really weren't very popular. I believe there was a Class 11 that came out of these, but these are used for local shunt work, etc. But this one is a Triang model, and it's based on the Triang literature that I actually have, the 13005 and the black shell. The last year they manufactured this one was in 1958. So I think they did one in 56 and 57, I can't recall, but the last year of manufacture was 1958 of this particular model. So I'm going to make the assumption that this is from the last year, obviously, because I can't figure otherwise. But so even so, this locomotive is about 63 years old, or approximately, which is crazy, and it's fairly good shape for its age. However, what I noticed was I didn't even put this on the track yet, because I noticed it was over lubricated. There was oil all over the place on this locomotive, including the wheels as well. And so, the moment I put it on my track, it's going to put the oil all over my track. So, I think someone might have just figured out an easy way of trying to keep this going. So, over lubrication is all equally harmful for locomotives as well. So I'm gonna strip it apart, give it a full cleanup and service, and then we'll put it back together again, and then we'll put it on the track and see how it goes. Okay. Now these old Triangs, I know there is a community that really goes crazy over these Triangs and these old locomotives, and I can kind of see why. I mean, they're well built, they're solid. If you look here, you can actually see they've used the entire piece here is metal, and they've even used brass gears and brass screws for for the locomotive. So it's kind of built to last. Now I don't know how well these things will crawl, etc. But then again, for 63 odd years, wouldn't expect too much. But let's give it a shot and see what we can get out of this one. It's missing actually a front coupler as well, but oh well. Okay, so let's get going with this one. These basically have a screw at the back, and just some hooks that it hooks onto the front, so it's going to pop the shell out here with the screw. Put the screw in the little part straight there, and the shell just comes right off, as you can see. 152. So it says Triang R152, made in England. Some kind of a tape inside here. Not sure why that's for. Remove that. Okay, so I can see someone's put on some kind of a tape here as well. I'm not sure why. Okay, so let's take a look in here. There's oil all over here, but you can also see there's actually oil on the commutator as well, which is really horrible. Some kind of liquid on the commutator. Don't see you can catch on the camera here, but in any case, it's fairly simple to service these locomotives. So I'm going to pull the brushes out and clean up the armature a bit. Put some lubrication on the bearings on both ends, and then we'll clean up the drive shafts down here as well. Alright, so let's remove the brushes. Now, what I'd like to do is actually replace the brushes on the same side or the same orientation that they were on the motor previously. The reason why is because there's a specific wear pattern on the brushes right now that suit the rotor or the commutator well. So last thing I want to do is change the orientation and then have the brush to develop a new wear pattern. So that's why I like to keep the brushes the way they were. Okay, so let's slowly slide the brush out of here. There we go. So this brush is, oh yeah, I can see the oil all over the brush. It's just crazy when somebody would put oil on the brush. Anyways, this is the brush on my side. Okay, put a little marker on the side so I know which brush goes on that side. Okay, so now I'm going to actually clean the brushes first because and I can let them dry. Oh yeah, it's gunk all of the brush. The gunk. Wow, it's a lot of dirt on the brushes. Okay, so I'm going to put some contact cleaner to clean this one up. Seems to be lots of meat left on the bone here. Just too much oil and gunk on it. So there we go. That's a lot of dirt on the brushes. And my fingers are getting all filthy as well. Oh well. Alright, so brushes are done. Now we're going to clean the commutator. It's got a lot of gunk on it. I'm not going to separate the motor, there's really no need to do so. It's moving well, it's got good lubrication on both ends, the bearings, but I'll re-lubricate the bearings just to be on the safe side. But I need to clean the commutator, it's got a lot of dirt on it. So typically what I do is I put contact cleaner and then wipe the commutator to get all the residue and oil and whatever liquid that they put on here. I really don't know, but it was just horrible. Alright, that's fairly clean, but I'm actually going to put some Brasso on here and actually polish it out a bit. There's still some residue on the end that I can see here that's probably embedded into the copper, so I'm going to try and put some Brasso on there and clean that up as well. In the meantime, I'm just going to clean around the motor here. There's a lot of gunk in here over the years and years of operation. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of Brasso on here, on a Q-tip here, and just polish up the commutator. And you'll see it start to shine, and a lot of the residue that's been embedded inside just kind of comes out. There we go, it's much cleaner now. You can see. I'm just going to now wipe it down with a and now I'm going to put some contact cleaner again. Actually, I'm going to put some electronic cleaner and just clean up the residue that's remaining from the Brasso. The reason I put the electronic cleaner is because that one is a quick dry and it evaporates almost immediately, leaving no residue behind. Okay, and now I'm going to use a dental pick to clean between the commutator contacts to remove any gunk that might be stuck on there. Okay, so now you have one beautiful clean commutator. Okay, now it's going to put some lubrication on both ends of the motor shaft. You gotta be careful on this end because the commutator is so close to it. So I'm going to put some Hobby Lube gear oil. On the bearing over here, as you can see. Let it just drip first. Put some in there. Put some on this end here too. And then some on the worm gear. Just a tad over here. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to put some thinner oil. This is light oil on the other side of the bearing, because this one actually has a felt to absorb the oil. So I'll put some thinner oil so that the felt will absorb some of that oil. And then a slightly thicker one right in the center for the bearing. Yeah, that should be really good. The motor is good now. I'm just going to put the brushes back. So I'm going to put the orientation back the way I had it before. And this brush was on the side facing me. So we're going to grab the brush, put it back. Yep. And now I'm going to put the other brush, and you can see how nice and clean the commutator is right now. We have to clean this brush up a little bit more. I see a little bit of residue on here, but well, maybe not. All right. Squeeze the spring in. Just gotta wiggle it in a bit. There we go. So we have the insulated side here on this brush and the exposed wire which goes to the chassis on this side, and make sure that this felt is nice and lubricated. There you go. Alright, so I think the motor is good to go now. It's nice and smooth. Alright, so now we're going to do is just work on the pickup here and the drive wheels. So let's pull out the pickup. See all the oil all over here. It's too much oil. There you go. Oh, there's a lot of oil in here. Someone has over lubricated this locomotive. It's just it's a bad idea when you do that, because you get oil going all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up in here first. Now I'm going to clean the back of the wheels here and the contactors here. They're also kind of grubby a bit. So it's these wheels that it picks up from. It's a lot of dirt in the wheels. The reason why I'm cleaning it so thoroughly here is because this is the wheels that are used for picking up the opposite polarity from the chassis. So it uses these little fingers to pick them up, this copper fingers over here. So, alright, those are clean as well. And there's a lot of oil in here, oh boy. I just need to give this pickup plate here a thorough cleanup. It's just too dirty. There's too much gunk on here. And now it's time to clean the pickups. Alright, they're clean as well. Now I just need to clean the wheels up. So I'm going to put a little bit of brass on and try to clean the wheels because I think they're just got a lot of stuff on them there. Oh yeah, look at the dirt that's coming out. Well, this is going to take a while, so I'm just going to cut short the video here and I'll clean the remaining of the wheels and I'll show the results thereafter. Okay, so I'm just finishing up cleaning these the wheels, and they look much better than before. Let me just dry them up here. And there we are. You can see how clean these wheels look. Now I didn't clean the center ones because they don't have a flange that's right on the rails slightly, so I didn't really polish them, but I polished these wheels and you can see how nice and clean that they look now. Okay, so I'll also clean the pickups here, so I'm going to put some lubrication now for the axles, and then we'll put this all back in. Don't like to get it on here. Oops, I have to resolder that. Okay, so I'm just going to resolder this wire now, and we're good to go. It just gives me an opportunity to clean up this bottom part of the contact. Alright, so I'm just going to resolder this wire back here. and we'll be good to go. Okay, so I was able to solder that wire back on there, as you can see, and now we're ready to put this back on, put the pickup plate back on, just lining up the insulator there, and then alright, and now it's going to tighten them back up. Just needs to be snug. Alright, so now we got some clean contacts. We've got the back of the wheels cleaned up as well. As I took it to the soldering bench, I just happened to have some dirt on the soldering bench, so it just came onto this chassis here. Alright, well, we have a fully serviced chassis here. So the brushes were cleaned, the commutator was cleaned, the bearings on both ends were lubricated, the drive shaft bearings were lubricated, and so on, and the wheels were all cleaned. I didn't bother cleaning these, polishing these, because these don't have any pickups and nor do they really serve any purpose other than aesthetics. So I just cleaned them off any dirt, but I polished the four main wheels here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically switch over to the case here. Before I put it all back together again, I'm going to put a little bit of soap and water and clean up the case. Dishwashing soap and some water. We need to put a little bit more soap in here. Okay, so I'm just going to place this aside. No more water coming around there. I'm just going to clean up this entire case. Alright, I'm just going to rinse this under the sink and I'll be back in a second. Alright, now I can use one of these delicate wipes that were given to me by a subscriber. They're really good for cleaning these body shells. Wow, as it is, I'm seeing a big difference in the shell here. Wow, look at that. It's you can see all the dirt has come out, and you can see the fresh plastic now. It looks awesome. Well, there we go. We got a nice clean shell now, and I'm just going to put the hooks on the front here, go to the holes in the front of the shell, as you can see, and so put it like that. And the last little screw here that goes to the front here. There we are. All right. So we have one fully serviced Triang Class 8 13005, as you can see there, British Rail from 1958. Just amazing. And the wheels are looking nice and shiny now as well. So all we have left now is to take it over to the track and see how it runs. Alright folks, let's place this on the track here, and let's go. Okay, let's see how it runs. Wow, look at it crawl. Let's get some speed. Actually relatively quiet for a locomotive of from 1958. And those motors weren't the most efficient motors either, so I'm pretty impressed the way it's actually running right now. Wow. I'm going to bring it around and see how well it can crawl. Oh, it's so smooth, and so impressed with how this thing is running. Wow, that's nice to see it go really slow like that too. Okay. Alright, so there you have it. Triang Class 8 1958. Back on the tracks again. Nice to see these old vintage locomotives running. I really enjoy that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, as usual, put them in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to respond to them. Hope you have a good weekend. Take care.